Welcome to another great adventure. At least I hope it's great. Among Dr. Russ's air gun adventures. I'm Dr. Russ. You're in southeast Michigan compared to the Smoky Mountains and the Rocky Mountains and the Bighorns that I've done some earlier videos on. We just got back from a real nice iguana hunt and a hog hunt. And what I'm going to be doing today, but it'll be launched in about 2 weeks, is doing a complete review on this Gamo bone collector. What a beautiful gun this is. This happens to be generation 2, but in my review I'm going to be covering generation 1, 2, and even this new third generation called the 3i. We'll be covering all of that. We're also going to be covering what I call deal breakers. And as you can see, I have colored some, the ones that are important to me. And it would help you if you have this list. It comes with some nice vinyl stickers that can be peeled and put anywhere. Lockers, books, binocular case, you name it. And use these stickers too. I think there's a $3 package and a $5 package. I'll make sure that our 800 number and all of that appears in the video for you. Let me have you take a look down below. If you look carefully right over that cement brick ledge, you'll see a full-size form deer buck down there. He's at 45 yards, and we're going to be shooting him in some future video here in a week or two with both air guns and crossbows, since some of you do that in October as well. I think I've got a couple of crossbows here and a whole bunch of large caliber air guns that I think you'll enjoy seeing what happens when they shoot a deer. So if that's what we're going to be doing in the weeks ahead, comparing the bone collector and the third generation, second generation Gamo guns, and if we're going to be shooting large bore slugs at a buck deer target in both the large bore as well as some crossbows, just for comparison purposes, it raises the question, what are we going to do today? Today, I hate to admit it, is my birthday. You know, after so many of them, you kind of lose track and you just don't watch for them anymore, and I think I'm in that boat. But one of the things I do like about celebrating my birthday is Dr. Paula allows me to take over the kitchen, and I bring out some wild game. I think I told you we've just been hunting, and I've been promising you a couple of recipes that you can use at hunt camp, you can use at home. I think you'll like them. It's the way grandmother used to cook. Paula, can I really use this beautiful kitchen here to make two of my favorite recipes?
I suppose so, as long as you clean up your mess, okay?
I have to do that too?
Yes, you have to do that too.
Anything else?
Maybe if you share with me what you're doing and what you're putting in everything so that I might be able to know how to do this.
Oh, you want me to share the secrets about cooking in hunt camp?
Yes.
Oh, I gotta think about that one. Now don't worry about whether there's a cup of this or a tablespoon of that. You don't need to worry about that in this recipe. And I do want you to know that I even have hunting buddies from the last 30, 40, 50 years that have asked for these recipes, and I'm not giving them out. But today, I'm giving them to you. And you can use them with wild game that you shoot, and you can use these recipes just for some meat that you pick up at the grocery store. Either one. Today I'm using a little bit of both. we've got a dinner planned tonight, my birthday dinner, and we've got about 8 people coming. Let's get going with that fire. I'm using a large pot because I got a large number of people coming. We're going to use real butter and not any margarines. And with those butters in there, the 2 recipes I'm giving, the first one is going to be on something called Dr. Russ's Hunt Camp beans. You know, one of the things at Hunt Camp is gas. You don't want any gas in a small cabin. And there isn't going to be any gas here. And people say, how could that be? I'll show you why in just a second. Let's get the stuff going in this pot. The first thing is I've diced up, cut up an entire pound of bacon. That's what I've put into it. Now, I've got what they call diced ketchup, diced tomatoes. And I've drained the water out of these already, most of it. Why? Because instead of having tomato water or pork and bean water in it, I want butter in it. So that's what I add here. Take a look in there. Some pieces and stems from mushrooms. Onions. Some more onions. They don't all have to be white. They don't all have to be red. I had one of each. So that's what's going into Dr. Russ's Hunt Camp beans. Oh, even some green onions are going in. And some could have been green pepper, red pepper. But notice what I've done is I want them all in small pieces. I don't want big hunks of these vegetables. Now let's take a look inside. And you're about to learn the first big secret. Hollow Head is here today to kind of help me with this cooking. Secret number 1. Secret number 1 is that Hunt Camp beans is 50% beans or less, not 80 or 90%. And so what people are tasting are these diced up tomatoes, onions, bacon, green pepper. That's the first part. And right now, they come to about halfway up this. So I know that when I put the beans in, it's going to be a smaller portion than 50, maybe 40%. That's okay. On this pan over here, we're also going to be adding some ground beef to it. But that'll come up in just a moment. The important thing is that you know that secret number 1 is that there's not a lot of beans in Hunt Camp beans. So we don't really worry about tablespoons of this or cups of this or half cups of that. You just take whatever you find in your kitchen in the way of onions and green peppers and bacon and butter, mushrooms. That's what we want, and we want it to be at least half of the recipe. Here's the other half. Now, this could have been ground elk, it could have been ground deer. In this case, I've got it, but it's frozen hard in one of our chest freezers. So kind of a late idea. We just decided to do some hamburger. The key is hamburger works, and hamburger is something you could do tonight, tomorrow, in the Dr. Russ Hunt Camp Bean recipe. I've got to get this brown, and I'm going to add it to those vegetables that are stirring, and then we'll add the beans last, and I'll let you know about secret number 2. Okay, it looks like our ground beef that was cooked in butter is just about ready, and we're going to be adding that to our vegetables that have been cooking over there. Now, if you don't like mushrooms, don't put mushrooms in here. You don't like bacon, don't put bacon in here. You don't like hamburger, don't put hamburger. But the key here was secret number 1, and that is that we have more of these other things than we have beans in this recipe. Now, following through with secret number 1, I've already added 1 can of beans, and now I'm adding the second just for this recipe. Again, all I'm really concerned about is that the beans are less than the stir fry that I've been making there. Now, if you don't like diced tomatoes, just use some ketchup. But you see this color of the beans? They need to get a little bit rosier. And tomatoes do that, ketchup does that. And you'll want to do that too as we stir this up. Okay, I think we're ready for secret number 2. Okay, I thought I saw 2 hollow heads there for a moment. We only have 1. It must be all the aroma that got to me there. Over the years, I would put in some white sugar. I put in brown sugar. One day, we were having a wild game dinner here, and I had no sugar. So I went and looked. What did I find? Jelly. That's secret number 2. It really doesn't matter what kind of jelly. We're getting the sweetness of it. And that is the second secret, is putting some jelly in there. Now, if this doesn't have the right color towards the end, I'll add some ketchup for color, because people, it has to be visually right for them too. And so from here, I'm mixing in all that hamburger or ground elk or whatever it is that you have, the bacon, and the beans, which make up less than half of this recipe, along with that sweetness from the jelly. And people have begged me for this recipe over the years. Now we're going to let this simmer for about an hour. The real cooking was that stir fry part. And then we're going to get to recipe number 2. How do I go about cooking squirrel, woodchucks, elk, deer, wild hog? That's next. Okay, for our second recipe, which you can use for any meat you can think of, we again start with butter. And while that is melting, follow me over here. Whether you're using some squirrel, elk, I was hoping this was going to be wild hog. And if you've been watching the previous videos, you saw us hunting wild hog down in Florida. Unfortunately, the buzzards got to those wild hogs first. And I recommended that you get a morning hunt so you can spend the afternoon tracking them down, rather than at night when they can charge you. At any rate, you cut these pieces of meat. They can be quite small on a squirrel. This just happens to be not wild hog, but it is part of a a pork tenderloin. And so now I'm dropping it into flour after I salt and peppered it. And I want to shake it around like this. You might have seen your grandmother do this. Probably not your spouse, your girlfriend, or even your mother. But grandmothers did this. And now I'm going to bring these, I call them medallions, back over to the fire. They're not going to be in here very long. Just covered in a little bit of flour, salt and pepper. You're going to find that a pair of these tongs are probably going to be your best tool. And the second thing is to not let them cook long. They really need to just cook for a short period of time. And we will be flipping them as that happens. I'm just making myself a little sampler plate here before all the company arrives. Okay, it's obvious that Paula is getting ready for our guest. It's a family coming all the way from Germany, and they've never had some good redneck cooking. Dr. Paula, is it ready?
It's ready.
Just got them a little brown?
Just a little bit on both sides. Don't want to cook them too long because then it can get tough.
I see our Hunt Camp Beans is over here working, but that'll take us a little while, and that's when our company will arrive. Mikey, I mean Dr. Paula, would you just taste this for me, please? And as long as you don't fall to the floor and we have to get yellow tape, all that around here, then I know that it probably isn't deadly.
It actually tastes pretty good.
Does it? Okay, pretty good. Okay, well, I want to taste it too.
Maybe you'll be the cook from now on.
Oh no, I didn't want to win that award. As you know, we've got a slogan that says, "Be safe, be sharp, be silent." I just want to bring up one more time. One of the ways you're sharp is a lot of you didn't even know that there were 75 features in air guns. When you go out and buy one, and then you find out, oh, it didn't have this or that. So I think you're going to want to get that. May want to get some stickers. Call our number. It'll be on the screen here somewhere, and use that. Try out one of these recipes. Dr. Russ, air rifle, hunt beans, camp hunt beans. Try this with any meat you like. Just salt, pepper, some flour, cooked in frying butter, and you'll do well. In the meantime, don't forget, give us a thumbs up, subscribe, and stay safe, stay sharp, and silent.